Commissioner Berman,
Here.
Vice Chair Long, Chair Moffett.
Here. All right, please stand for land acknowledgement.
Madam, I'd like to speak on this matter. Madam Chair, I'd like to speak on this matter.
You can speak during the public comment
It
section
says,
right
According
afterwards.
to the government code, I just want to lodge my objection for the record. According to government code 54954.3, every agenda for regular meeting shall provide an opportunity for a member of the public to directly address the legislative body on any item of interest to the public before or during the legislative body's consideration. This code is very clear.
Okay, go ahead and speak.
If you want to take a break and check, ma'am, I'm fine with taking a break.
I'm okay. If you want to speak
Thank you
during
so
this
much,
one,
Chair.
that's fine.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. I'm former City Councilman George Barich, and I think it's high time citizens speak on this matter to bring to your attention. This is very silly, this land acknowledgement. It's very inappropriate, and I'll tell you why. It says here in your land acknowledgement that you're paying respect to the native Miwoks who were here for millennia. And the fact is, I want you to consider the science. We don't know how many millennia they were here. We don't know what other cultures of human beings were here before they were here. We don't know how they got here. We don't know whether they warred with other tribes, other species to get here. They probably fouled the land just like the rest of us foul it, and the land and the water, and they burned their trash, and they warred within themselves. Okay, there was plenty of that goes on in human civilization. I don't know why we're paying any respect. And the fact is, if Prue Draper, the historian, the town's historian, was alive today, may she rest in peace, you know, she would have a real problem with this as well. Okay, we don't know whether the Miwoks or the Pomo Indians left voluntarily this land, abandoned the land, sold the land, got pushed off the land. We really don't know. We don't know. So whoever came up with this is really ridiculous, but I have a hunch. I just want to let it rest with you. This is all about white guilt. Okay? It's inappropriate. It embarrasses this town. Every time someone reads this garbage, which is unsubstantiated, brought up by somebody who felt that they felt guilty or something that we're here and somehow we push other cultures off this land. We don't know. And I don't understand why this city hall cares. You know, Prue Draper was a town historian. She gave many workshops on the history, but there's many facts that are unknown about it. And I think this just smacks of some guilt here, and it just should be avoided at all costs. And with that being said, Madam Chair, thank you for the opportunity to speak. And if you need to research that law, I would advise you to do so, and you can proceed with your land acknowledgement.
Thank you. Please stand for the land acknowledgement. The City of Cotati recognizes that we are on the ancestral lands of the coastal Miwok, who are the original caretakers of this area. We respectfully acknowledge the indigenous peoples who have been stewarding and maintaining a relationship on this land as knowledge keepers for millennia. This acknowledgement does not take the place of authentic relationships with indigenous communities, but serves as a gesture of respect to the land we are on.